it's a lot of it. And I grab the powder, I try to get my powder. And
Yeah.
he's just smacking powder all over my face. And it's like, what the
Danny Green! Going to the rim, kicks to the corner. Green, a three to tie. He got it!
All right, Danny, appreciate you coming on the show.
Appreciate you having me, man.
I was going through all your highlights, and I wasn't expecting the first one to be a poster dunk.
4-on-1.
What a great job. What a terrific job in transition.
When it was a 4-on-1, did you know you were going to have to dunk on him?
That was the intent from if I got the ball back. That actually was, I remember, it was so long ago though, but I remember practice, Coach Williams was never throw the ball backwards. As soon as I caught it, I was like, I got to get to the rim. I'm surprised just as much as you are. The first highlight is a dunk.
Yeah.
A poster dunk at that. Probably my best dunk of my career.
I asked Quinn Cook what I should ask you. He said, how come he hasn't gotten his money for Duke beating UNC this year?
Yeah, I got a lot of Duke guys in this organization and on the squad. I owe a couple people with some money this year. It's been a rough couple of years here and there for Carolina.
Now, at UNC, you were also a big dancer. And I remember the 09 Cavs, but I feel like you were much better when you were in college.
I was a lot better at a lot of things in college.
Now, what made you do this? What happened? Like, they were just playing music and you're like, I'm going to dance?
Yeah, I was younger in college too. I had better legs and energy wasn't wasted. Always had energy for days. So if I do something like that now, I might not be able to make it through the first quarter.
When you first joined the league, though, you were dancing with LeBron. What was that team like? The 09 Cavs? Because it just looks like you had a lot of fun.
We had a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun now too. But I do remember dancing on the sideline. I did get in trouble for it, but it was more of a
really. Did LeBron get in trouble for it too?
Oh, come on, man. Those guys, the vets don't get in trouble. Guys that are playing, obviously it wasn't like trouble, but it was like, they brought me in and like, you can't do the things that these guys are doing. You're still trying to make a name for yourself. You're still trying to, get in the rotation. You're still trying to build a resume in this league, and we want you to be professional. And then on the other hand, I had guys like Shaq in my ear, like, you better dance,
Like, what's it like being a rookie that's on Shaq's team? Does he make you do all the go get me food, go wear this type of backpack? What'd you have to do?
Yeah, it's kind of like that, especially if you're not playing. Shaq's he's gonna get you doing some stuff. You're gonna be the team assistant, not just Shaq's assistant, but you're gonna do. Obviously get the donuts and all that other stuff, but if things need to be carried or brought on or brought to his room, you're going to make it happen. So, and he said as a rookie that I wasn't playing at all, it's really not as tough, and they don't really have as much respect for you.
You played against the Lakers and you had a game-winning shot.
I do remember this one.
Was the play drawn up for you?
It was. And of course I remember this one, obviously, because the recent tragedies have happened. And every moment that I can replay of playing against Kobe has gone through my mind. Every highlight, every picture, everything that I've seen.
What was it like guarding Kobe for the first time? Were you nervous?
Oh, man. Are you kidding me? That's not even the word.
Of course, yeah. No.
Man, guarding Kobe, extremely nervous. And I think that's part of why he was able to score is not to say easily, but because and his moves work so well because he was a patient, slow at his own pace, but people that are guarding him are so nervous and so jacked up, and they're ready. And every move he makes, we're going for it. Every fake he makes, every pump fake, he knows young guys are trying to block his shot, trying to lock him up. So he's going to use that against you. And I remember just a couple times I played him, like first couple times, it's like, damn, I'm in foul trouble every time. It's like, and I'm barely touching the guy, I'm contesting him on you, so they're gonna give those guys certain calls.
Did you guys ever speak? Did he ever give you like any advice?
And we talked, obviously, after his final game in San Antonio. We talked the last time that he was in LA watching our game. Courtside, I got a chance to talk to him and see how he was doing, and he seemed very happy and enjoying his retirement.
Now, what was going on in the 2013 finals? I grew up in Miami, so I was the Heat fan. Okay. And every time you got the ball, it felt like it was going to go in.
Oh,
so
man.
What happened?
I think I just kind of got lucky. Shooters have phases throughout the season, throughout the playoffs, where you're going to have hot streaks and some cold streaks. You're going to have some, and I've had some times, unfortunately, where I've been cold in the playoffs too. But luckily for me, I think this is the time where I was kind of building a rhythm. So earlier playoff series, I was shooting it decently well, not hot. But I've had stretches during the season where I was hitting shots like this, 4 or 5 games where I hit, 4 or 5 threes or, 6, if the ball was moving. And we were playing great basketball, mind you. We were moving it, and everybody touched the ball, man. It was a lot of fun to play in. We lost, so it kind of stung and sucked. So it took me a couple months later to realize what the stage that I was on and what I had done. I was in a random cabin somewhere with my homies, and I was like, because we were watching throwbacks of the NBA Finals, I was like, I really just played in the NBA Finals. Like, every time they show the highlights of Ray Allen's shot or Miami, I can't watch the clip. I can't.
Oh no.
I can't.
But what was
you guys? I can't like the post. I'm like, man, even if it's like a bunch of shots with Kawhi in it, and they have all of the clutch shots. They have Dame, Kawhi, and then somehow Ray Allen shot in there. I'm like, damn it, I can't like this post.
But what was it like in that moment when you see it? Like, was everyone just shocked when you guys went to overtime?
Yeah, I think when the shot went in, everybody was very shocked, man. Couldn't really believe what was going on. I said, in the moment, I was so locked in, I wasn't thinking about individual accolades or MVP. I was just thinking about winning, and we had it. We had it in Game 6, and they got a couple of rebounds. We missed a couple free throws. They hit some big shots, made some big plays down the stretch, and we didn't win into overtime. And I think the momentum was just with them. And you knew Game 7 was going to be tough to win. No team had won Game 7 on the road. It was a different game, and even Game 7, we were locked in. We played really hard.
It was super close.
I've been fortunate and lucky enough to win since then, which has been great. But it's still one that I'll never forget, and I can't ever watch the clips of that series in Game 6 and 7. It's just hard to watch.
Well, you guys did win in 2014. Was that just motivation? Like, the 2013 finals, you guys just thought about it every single day? And was it openly talked about when the 2014 season started? Like, hey, we need to redeem ourselves for what happened the year before?
It wasn't something we had to talk about or needed to talk about, because Pop, I don't know if you know how Pop operates, but usually first day of practice or first day of coming in, we watch the games from the year, well, then, because we had the same group for the last 3 and 4 years we had together. We watched the series that we lost the last year previous. Then we watched that Miami clip, that Game 6 over and over and over, of the mistakes of who was there. And I was one of the main guys that made mistakes in that Game 6, to where Ray got a shot or Brian got a 3 before that. So we watched those clips, and every day we practiced and prepared for Miami and for being in Game 6 and 7 or being in the finals against them. I was thinking about that series in that Game 6. We never left us until we got back to the finals, and luckily enough, we met them again and back in the finals. Yeah, and we were able to redeem ourselves.
Yeah, was that kind of like a relief when you guys won? Like, what is it the best feeling in the world?
For sure, man. The most satisfying feeling in the world. It was like, oh, we finally did it. It was my first one, obviously. Yeah. And it was against a team that just beat us, and it was like, man. And it was more so for me, like, man, we finally did it. Now I don't have to hear Pop scream at me all day, about, last year's finals. But, it was a lot of fun. We had our families, our team around us. And the next year previous, he was a little more relaxed. But, still a tough coach. But, I was just said it was the most satisfying moment of saying, finally, thank God we did it. Because if we didn't do it, man, it would have been a hard next year playing for him again, losing again to that team.
Did he say anything to you after you dunked over KD?
No, he probably just stood there with it was very reluctant to give compliments, because he just thought, I would get too big of a head and not play defense anymore, or, not play as hard. So he would give me just a shrug or a blank stare, as if you're supposed to do that. Yeah. I know he's looking at his coach and looking at the sideline. I'm like, oh, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah.
Like, wow. But he looked at me like, yeah, I'm glad you're here.
Something about the Warriors, though, because you had a nice putback dunk over Steph too. Do you remember this one?
Those are the games. That's when, obviously, right now they're not where they were, but before they became the Warriors, the Golden State. This is back then. We had some tough series, and we were kind of like the big brother, of I guess playing against them, because they had the staff came from San Antonio. A lot of those guys were from San Antonio, and we, most of the time, they couldn't beat us in the series or during the season. We always kind of won the series. They'd win a game or two here and there, and then a couple of times they just come out lighting us up. There's one series, Steph hitting one like a 3-pointers against Tony, and Clay is like they're coming out partying. Like, oh, these guys are serious.
What was your first reaction when you got traded?
I was still waking up. I was like, what the hell's going on? And I was like, okay, wow, this is a shock. there's like a big news happened. I think you're not. And they said Kawhi's been traded. And like, I think you're in it because I was just a pop calling my agent calling me. I was like, damn, I think I'm in this trade. I always said I was just in shock most of anything, but seeing where I was going to, I always looked at the positive. I was excited. I was like, when I was closer to New York, my family would come see me. I was looking forward to it. And then obviously leaving a place I called home in San Antonio, which kind of sucked, and a lot of people that I called family. So it was tough. But so I was just looking at the positives and figuring out what the next steps were of with my house. Do I sell it? Do I rent it out? What do I do? And then, damn, I got to move all my stuff here. I got to look for a house in Toronto. Bringing the dogs, how I'm going to get my pets there.
At what point did you know the team could make the finals? Like right away, or did you kind of find out?
I think we all had,
because you guys were clicking early.
We were, and I think we all had in our minds that we thought we were going to face. Obviously, we thought we were actually going to face Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals, or at some point because they were really good. Philly was tough too. Philly was very tough, but we knew from the start before we even got there that we had the pieces to do so. If you look down the line, we're like, man, our roster is unreal. We have, if coaching staff can put this together the right way and figure out, who to play where, who to play what minutes where. So we had OG, who didn't even play a full season, who was hurt most of the time. Pascal was his coming out party. So Serge was a defensive player of the year candidate, and all these guys are defensive players. We have a great defensive lineup that could switch down the line with Serge, Pascal, me, Kalo, Kawhi, and then we had Norm coming off the bench, Fred. Those guys were really good.
Tatum denied.
Now the double block. I don't think I've ever seen a double block before.
When you're playing with Kawhi, it's gonna happen often.
Yeah,
he's gonna be there. So I don't think this is the first time it's ever happened with me and him. It's just more, I guess, magnified because of the game and the timing of the game.
Now, the Kawhi game winner.
It's off to Leonard, defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger? Game! Series! Toronto is won!
I mean, I've never seen a shot like this to win the game bounce this many times.
It was a long time.
I think there was 4. But was this the play that was also drawn up? Like this was the same thing that?
Yeah, it wasn't drawn up like this. It wasn't drawn up like this, but it was drawn up for Kawhi to catch the ball. And in real time, it happened so fast. It's like only 2 seconds of watching, the ball run or roll around. But in real game time, man, it was like 10 minutes. It seemed like we were watching like ball drop. And said it was the biggest shot that I've witnessed. Once it went in, man, we went nuts, and the city went nuts. And we're going to the finals, and the energy in that place, in that building, in that city. Once we made it, it was at that point. It was like we already won. They didn't care what happened because they'd never been to the finals.
Who are you who are you yelling at to look at the scoreboard during the finals?
It was a fan. He was yapping, man. He was just yelling. I'm like, yo, watch the game. And he's talking a lot of trash. I'm like,
yeah, you're down 16.
What are you talking about? I'm like, at that point, we were up like at one point we were up like 20, and I'm like,
yeah,
how are you still talking trash right now? We're up 20, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
Now that you're a Laker, what has been the biggest difference from 2009 LeBron to 2020 LeBron?
It's crazy how you say it, like how long of a year gap that is.
Yeah, it's huge.
He's still doing the things he was doing in 2009. Obviously, he's just a more mature adult. Obviously, is kids that are older, teenagers. He's learned how to win. He's gone to places and won 3 titles since then. Back then, obviously, he was vocal, but not as vocal as he is now. He was kind of sharing the team with him and Shaq. He knows how to encourage his teammates. His IQ obviously was great then. It's even better now. He knows how to put guys in places to make them successful. So he makes the game easy, man. And I think then he did make the game easy, but it wasn't on purpose. It was just him being so great and playing the game. It was easy for his teammates. Now he's making the game easy by putting people in places. This is where you need to be. I want him here. I want him in this right corner. I want AD over here.
Are you expecting him to pass it to you on this play? Because the amount of bodies around him, it's such a difficult pass.
It is. I was expecting the pass about 5 to 10 seconds earlier.
Yeah.
So before he got to the paint, it was like, I was like, all right, cool. I'm ahead. He might give it to me. Once he makes a decision to get in the paint, I know that I'm probably gonna get back on defense. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, we stay here. Luckily, I stayed there until the play was made because I was about to start running back on defense, but I stayed and waited to see. I thought he was going to either drop it off to JaVale, and I thought I had a shot, but I didn't know what the hell he was doing when he jumped, and I didn't know where the ball came out. I don't know where it came from. But I was like, oh, shit, I got to make this. I can't. I can't make this shot. This is one I have to make sure I stay locked in and focused on.
But he keeps finding you because at the end of the Mavs game, he found you as well.
Yeah.
Where you guys are down 3, you need to hit this shot to stay in the game.
That was a drawn-up play as well. It didn't work out the exact way we wanted it to, but it did work out. So, Dwight set a hell of a screen. It wasn't very legal, but
I was going to ask you that.
The timing of it didn't go the way Bron got the ball, took 2 dribbles, and got it there. Actually, I was there when he took when he caught it. We ran.
Yeah.
As soon as he caught it, me and Dwight ran. So before he took the second dribble, I was there, and I was just waiting. And in real time, it wasn't that long. But when it happened in the game, I was like, hurry up, throw it. Recover, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think you had your best highlight of your career when you did the insane putback dunk against the Hawks.
It was probably the best dunk of my NBA career. It was probably the highest I got because I got a little boost.
Well, walk me through it because the play is crazy.
Yeah, on the free throw line, Coach Vogel's always like, we go for every rebound. Don't run back on defense, try to get a rebound. So I was like, let me get this tip out. And I was like, I'm gonna tip it out. So I got the tip out and I got it to him and it bounced up really high. And I'm like, damn, I don't know if I'm gonna get this one. I had to jump again to get another tip out. So tipped it out again and it went to Bron and he got a good look for 3. And I just went after it. I was like, it's close to the end of the half and the quarter usually supposed to run back on defense. But I was like, I'm just gonna go for this one. And I did. I went for it, and I just remember going up, and I was, I had good legs that day. I felt pretty good, and then I felt the body underneath me, and I got a little extra boost from the body underneath me. I was like, oh, I'm up there. So
look at Dwight's reaction. I think it's famous. Dwight was going crazy when it happened.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect me to catch it or be that high when I caught it.
Now it was also cool to see like even Kobe was at this game. There's always some antics pregame. It reminds me of the 09 Cavs in a way, but like with the powder toss and Dwight's grabbing his cell phone, Quinn Cook's being like a hype man.
Yeah, they always.
Is this planned or did it just kind of happen and now guys are doing it every time?
This kind of just happened. This is the first time I think it happened. Dwight always gets the camera though, and they always grab a fan's camera. Like they grab a fan's camera and video record, they give it back to the fan. The fan actually gets the close-up video of Bron doing his powder toss. And I'm just trying to get the powder. I'm trying to get the, what's the name? And I'm like, man, hurry up. I need it. The game's about to start. Yeah. And the powder went open and he gets his powder. So I'm like, all right, and I'm near him. Usually I'm not that close to him. It's a lot of it. And I grab the powder, I try to get my powder. And he's just smacking powder all over my face. And it's like, what the I was being a clown about it. I was messing around, but I was like, damn. And then after that, it kind of became a thing. We did it a couple times.
I don't think people realize you have like a cool come up story because you got drafted by the Cavs. You're playing with LeBron. You're playing with Shaq, and then you get cut that summer. And for some guys, that might be it. But you you went overseas. You went to now G League, but D League at the time, like.
The decision happened.
I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
A lot of guys were cut, waived, traded, and I was one of those guys. And then I got a workout with San Antonio 2 times. Then they picked me up after the second workout, and then I was there for about 4 days. Then they cut me. Like 4 days later, not even a week, right before Thanksgiving, late January, I was able to get a letter of clearance and got picked up by the Reno Bighorns. But yeah, I was in the G League for 2 months, and then luckily I went out on a limb and called Pop and left a voicemail. Everybody's heard about this voicemail of, if you give me a chance, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll carry water, bring water to the guys, towels, anything. And then I got a call back, and they called me up after 2 months, and I was with the team late March of 2011, I believe it was. And then I was on a non-guaranteed deal. And then the lockout happened, went to Slovenia to play there, to stay in shape, and to also, make a little bit of money at the same time. I had to come back when the lockout ended, make the team again with San Antonio.
Yeah.
And, I was still coming off the bench. I was the 15th man. And then I think Manu got hurt like 4 games into the season, broke his hand, was out 4 to 6 weeks. I had James Anderson there in front of me. And he played quite a bit. Obviously they were looking for somebody to play defense though. And they threw me in one game. I played really good defense against Golden State. They had Monte Ellis and Steph at the same time. Monte was killing us. So I played good defense on Monte, and the next year I went from playing, no minutes to playing 5 minutes a game, and then 5 minutes to 10. And then, actually hit some shots. And they said, oh, you can shoot. And then you didn't just play defense. So I went from 10 minutes to 15, 20.
Well, thank you for coming on. It was fun going through all your highlights.
I appreciate
Have a good season when the season starts, hopefully soon.
Yeah.
But until next time, I'll see you.
Appreciate you, my man. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.